Welcome to the latest edition of the NSC Coaching and No Silos Communications Interest Meeting. This recording was made on May 3rd, 2023. Please check the website for any updates. Thank you for joining us. I am L. Michelle Smith, certified executive and personal coach, author, Fortune 100 advisor, and much more. Let me tell you a little bit about our coaching philosophy. We believe that you have all the answers. We also believe that the answers come to you with the most powerful questions. So we have all the questions. It's important that we align and level set on this coaching philosophy before we engage. If you are looking for someone to give you advice, show you where to go, that's not the way we coach. Our coaching is grounded in applied positive psychology and neuroscience. What we know to be true through our training is that people are more motivated to move forward and progress if their motivation comes from inside. So while I could share with you advice, speak from my experience, that may be that external motivation that inspires you to move forward, but it may not be sustainable. Science shows us that it usually is not. So, if you come on board to our coaching programs, you will find that we will look for the most important and thought provoking questions to ask, and it's your job to think. You may not have the answer right away, but thinking is the most important part of this process. And then there's the work. Your work and your ability to push yourself forward, what you agree upon to be your actions, will make the difference between you meeting goals, exceeding goals, and being successful. We'll talk more about our process in the coaching session as we move forward. We are unicorns, and we are proud to say it. While we coach everyone, we know that cultural intelligence is paramount to our world today and today's leader. Most of our coaches are African American. Most of our coaches are credentialed. But when you look at the data, there are currently less than 8% of executive coaches that are Black in the United States of America. Even fewer of those are women. Even fewer are those are credentialed. This means that we're able to not just work with the masses, but work with the growing number of people of color who are coming into the workforce and also progressing and wanting to get to the C suite. We understand what it's like to be in the margins, and we bring this gender nuanced and culturally nuanced perspective to the table when we coach, and it makes all the difference. We also believe that if you can solve for the double disadvantaged, you can solve for anyone. And that is the way we run the most inclusive coaching practice out there. Credentials matter. And there are a lot of coaches out there. And over the past 5 years, there's been a mushroom of people who have gotten into the coaching industry. But we understand that credentials matter. This firm, this practice, is a member of the International Coaching Federation, the largest and most authoritative entity in the coaching industry. That is where I received my training through the CAP Institute, which is accredited through the ICF, and received my credential and continue to update. And this is the thing, credentialed coaches are committed to training and lifelong learning. We are challenged to recertify every 3 years, whether we move up the ladder to the next phase of credentialing or if we stay in the same area. We are challenged to get continuing coaching education in the sciences and in those areas that will support more evidence-based coaching. We're trusted by the Fortune 100. Credentials are a requirement to work for the Fortune 500. Our training is aligned to ethical standards of the ICF, and our approach is grounded in science and the latest research in applied positive psychology, neuroscience, and mindfulness. We're always adding new capabilities. We coach everyone. As I mentioned, we believe if you can support the double disadvantage, you can support everyone. How many of you are very much familiar with and use Siri or Alexis or anything where you need to speak to your device to make it do something? Well, that technology was not developed for the masses originally. It was developed for the accessibility market. But that technology had other applications. And as that technology was introduced to the masses, you can see where everyone moved forward by speech to text. And it gets better every day. We have that same philosophy when it comes to coaching everyone. We start with the hardest problems first and getting those solutions for the doubly disadvantaged. As an outgrowth to that, when we share those approaches with those in the general market, they go even faster. We specialize in culturally nuanced executive and personal coaching, but we also believe that we can solve for the double disadvantaged so that we can solve for everyone. Our specialty is in women and especially women of color. So we have a proven coaching method. It's called the Acera method, and it's introduced by the CAP Institute, which is the Coaching and Applied Positive Psychology Institute. This was founded by Valerie Burton, one of the foremost life and executive coaches on the planet. You may have seen her on the fourth hour of the Today Show at least once quarterly. And this is the way we go about our method during the sessions. We agree on what the goal is for the session. Clients are encouraged to, even before they come to the session, shoot us an email and let us know what they want to cover. This allows us to align on where we're going, and it makes us more efficient, and we will get where we're going with more efficiency and effectiveness. The next is to comprehend and clarify. It's important that the client and the coach get extremely clear on what the client really wants. This helps us to map a plan to move forward. The next is exploration. And as you can see, there are plenty of questions that will be asked throughout these processes. Think of this exploration as brainstorming. Our coaches ask a lot of questions, and we have found through research that it is the powerful questions that move us forward faster. Then it's time for reflection and recapping. Reflection from the client on our conversation allows for additional clarity. It also allows clients to be deeply thoughtful and mindful about their next steps. And then finally, it's time to act. And while this isn't a completely linear process, throughout the session, the client will have aha moments or breakthroughs. And those are usually the times when the client says, you know what I can do? I can do X, Y, and Z. And the coach will say, do you commit to that? And we get a yes or a no. If the answer is yes, you jot that down as your action item between now and the next session. So it's cyclical and it's based on a general agreement that we have around reaching your ultimate goal. We have executive and personal coaching. And under the executive coaching, we do career and business. And we have coaches that support those areas. I can do all three, but I have trusted colleagues that I turn to, especially for career and LinkedIn and resume coaching. The business coaching I handle myself because I am a serial entrepreneur. But the personal transformation is also very important. You may be asking, so El Michelle, you're a personal and executive coach, and I've heard you say you get into the life and you also get into the business of what I do, and there's no separating the two because I'm all one person. But how are these two practices different? Well, for the executive and career and business coaching, we enter the life through the gateway of business, your leadership goals, your professional goals, your small business goals. And then as life touches those aspects, we will engage. When it comes to personal transformation and life coaching, we start with life first. So perhaps it's around relationships. Maybe it's around transition and change. Maybe it's around self discovery, time management. And as we enter into that personal gateway, those things that touch the professional, we will deal with them too. So there is a slight difference between the two. The shift coaching is our personal transformation for exceptional people who lead at home, work, and the community. The common factor here is we work with leaders. And our sweet spot, of course, is that mid level to upper level, all the way into the C suite. And folks who are in their midlife, i.e., Gen X, and even more so now more than ever, here come the millennials. This is the area in which we support. That target demographic has so much going on in their lives right now. I can relate to it because I not only have a daughter at home, I also have aging parents. And I am looked to as the leader in both my home, my family, and in the industry. And that's just a unique mix. Let's learn more about the shift. While we have traditional one on one and group coaching, we also have very special VIP and luxury experiences. We introduced these this year, and it's to meet the need of whole transformation from your insides to your outsides. Two specific packages are the Spring Forward self care sessions. We offer these in the spring and summertime primarily. And this is where you have an overnight stay in one of the most luxurious hotels in the Dallas Fort Worth area. If you're here locally, it's just in the Metroplex. If you need to fly in, that's fine too. We pick up your hotel stay for one night and your spa experiences and your meals. And this is your opportunity to meet with me and one of the other coaches if you need to download a challenge that you're trying to overcome, or a goal that you want to meet. We meet for lunch, we have that conversation, we agree and align on your goals and what you want to accomplish. I provide you with some exercise or some question for you to ponder. Then you're off to your spa session, whether it's facials or whether it's a deep tissue massage. One of the premium packages will be there and waiting for you. You have that time to relax and reflect on what it is you want. Then you're able to go back to your room, start on your exercise, and then meet me for drinks and dinner afterwards. And we will talk some more and start to nail down your plan. You have that evening to complete your exercises. And in the morning, we meet for a bite of breakfast. We close out and we talk about this plan and your next steps. And then you're off back to your home. Or it's up to you if you'd like to stay another night for the rest of the weekend. That's on you. But the rest of it is on us. Hiking and healing is also offered during the spring, summer, and fall seasons. This is a half day experience where you meet with me here in the Dallas Fort Worth area. And again, if you like to fly into Dallas, you're more than welcome. I live near the Cedar Hill State Park. My office is near it too, and it's one of my favorite trails. There's several different trails, but I have a favorite. And this is our opportunity. I'll bring the snacks, I'll bring the drinks, I'll bring water, and we actually get to move our bodies and talk about what's on your mind. We'll get to a plan of action on this hike, even if it's important for us to stop and sit along the way and chat. And then by lunchtime, we head over to one of the local eateries. Lunch is on me, and we talk about your plan moving forward. And then you're off for the rest of your day. These are two of the VIP packages. We'll be introducing more as time goes on. The shift also provides group coaching and group trainings. Recently, we launched the Peace and Productivity Challenge and Mastermind. The challenge is free and it's usually launched in the fall timeframe. And this is your opportunity to take a moment and think through how you will get to peace. Because science shares with us the importance of a calm mind in order to focus. Focus is a prerequisite for insight, and you need insight in order to innovate, create, and produce. This is our opportunity to isolate those things that are becoming the challenge and getting in the way of us actually moving towards our goals. Sometimes we feel frozen, stuck, because life is lifing. This 4-day challenge is absolutely free, and I meet with you live every evening to work through some exercises to get you on the way. And it's a great introduction to the mastermind that actually meets once a week for 9 weeks to get you to your goals. We had a great time with it in 2022, and we're excited to reintroduce it in 2023.
SOAR
Then there's
Women's
the
Leadership
SOAR
Academy
Women's
is
Leadership
coming.
Academy.
It's a 6-month program that will help you to increase your influence, position you for the E and C suites, face gender and culturally nuanced challenges head on, and soar anyway. It's integrated training, skills building, and coaching to take you to your next level.
This is our very first offering that is hybrid. It's also available to organizations and individuals. It is a program that can be white labeled. It can also be created just for your organization. It also can be licensed because it's hybrid. Women meet every month live with the coach. There's teaching. They sign up for one-on-one coaching throughout the 6-month time frame. And then every other session is on demand. It's video, it's self-paced, and you keep up with everything on our course community, which is online. Currently, we are doing a spring cohort that is primarily online and virtual so that women from across the country and even the world can participate. It's open to all women, and we have introduced SOAR on demand for those individuals who need more time. Instead of a 6-month time frame, a year-long time frame where they can be self-paced. It's all on demand, and they can interface with their community online in the course community. We're now accepting applications for the fall cohort, and we even have an early bird discount. So you'll want to look into it. Go to lmichellesmith.com/soar. We're everywhere. And when we say we're everywhere, the bulk of our coaching happens virtually. And we were doing this long before the pandemic. We believe in using technology to further what we do. And we have coached anyone from Dallas, Fort Worth, clear to Germany, all the way to Canada. It does not matter. As long as you're English speaking, we can do this. The bulk of my clientele lives in DFW, Atlanta, LA, New York, Chicago, DC, the Carolinas. We have some up in Seattle, and they're usually in those city centers where you have a large organization, our corporate clients, wherever their headquarters might be. And if clients want it, I will fly to them, but it will be at the expense of the client. We're more than just coaching. We're an experience. Of course, you see there's SOAR Women's Leadership Academy, SlayNet, there's group coaching. I mentioned the masterminds and the challenges, the workshops, the classes, content creation. I'm all over the social sphere and delivering value to those folks who are in my communities online and off. Of course, there's a publishing imprint and my Culture Soup podcast, which reaches 70 countries and has more than 300 episodes. We're all about community, and it's not just online. Every quarter, I bring together the coaching community in different markets. You're looking at one dinner that happened in DC and another that happened in Dallas. We have others upcoming in Atlanta and DC and LA this year alone. It's a time for these leaders to meet one another. They're like minded and they get to network. And some of the ideas and the projects that are blossoming out of just these breaking of bread sessions are just amazing. They first meet each other on SlayNet, which is my private online network and community for like minded leaders. SlayNet is private, and this is where our courses reside. I'm also feeding content, and there's chat so that people in the SlayNet community can interact with one another. And ever so often, there are live events. One of the other masterminds that we do each year is the year end goal getter mastermind. And this allows our folks in the coaching community and beyond to get crystal clear on what they need to do moving into the next year. The mastermind is 9 weeks long, and you meet weekly virtually so we can reach everyone. One of the things that we do through SlayNet and one of our live events is when our leaders are blindsided by the news and culture. We are living during a time where so much is coming to us and at us through our news feeds and through cable news and media. And some of the news is just too tough to bear. An example, the Buffalo shooting and the Uvalde shooting. I called an emergency free group coaching for anyone who wanted to be a part, whether they were a part of SlayNet or beyond. And we talked through our feelings and tried to align with what our next step should be as leaders, processing our emotions in a space created just for them during times where employers aren't necessarily making space in the moment. In the midst of George Floyd, also in the midst of Breonna Taylor, we had segmented group sessions for those concerned. So for parents, it was time to gather around the Uvalde incident. For my Black leaders and anyone else who might want to come, it was time to gather and talk about what was going on with George Floyd or Breonna Taylor. And during that time, we even had some tragedy in the Asian community, and they were invited too. This is a special, special offering that I do just for my coaching community, but I've had interest from some organizations to be on hand for this type of interaction. And if you'd like it for your organization, I'd be willing to talk to you about how we can facilitate. And as you know, I'm a 3-time author. My next book is coming out June 15th, and it's called Yes, Please 7 Ways to Say I'm Entitled to the C Suite. It's a follow up to No Thanks 7 Ways to Say I'll Just Include Myself, which was best selling and also award winning in its second edition. This book is all about the secrets women of color need to know now to find their happy and win in an exclusive corporate culture. I will be making stops at bookstores at some of the markets that I just shared with you where I have coaching communities, and we'll have dinners and readings along the way. So stay tuned for that. We stay in the conversation. I am very blessed to have an amazing team that makes sure that locally and nationally, our voice and thought leadership is heard when things are happening in the news. And there are some of the places that we have shared our messages. The company we keep, when it comes to organizations, we work primarily with the Fortune 100. They seem to come to us, but the Fortune 500 comes to us and also other companies outside of that. Here are some of the names in the corporate space and even the arts. We've worked with leaders from organizations and brands that you trust and cheer for, offering an array of services from executive coaching, consulting, facilitation. I'm a professional speaker. We also work with organizations like the Executive Leadership Council. I'm a go to partner for them and their Fortune 500 clients as an adjunct faculty member for the Institute. That's all for now. I took about 30 minutes of your time. Thank you so much for taking the time to learn more about No Silos Communication and its brands and offerings. Get ready for transformation. If you want to learn more, go to nsccoaching.co, no M, or you can go to lmichellesmith.com. I'll see you online.